Hello and welcome to the video where I'm going to show you how to create yet another type of content for your Facebook business page. In this case, I'm going to show you how to create the carousel that is so famous on Facebook. And here's an example of a carousel post that I have created. As you notice, it goes from picture to picture to picture in a sideways motion, whichever way you click on the arrow. And the neat thing about this is you could showcase one product in the many different ways that it's used, or you can showcase many different products that you have. And in this case, I've showcased many different listings that this particular real estate agent is carrying. So how did I create this ever famous carousel ad? Well, I'm going to show you right now. The first thing you need to know about a carousel is that it takes a URL or a page on your website where you want the consumer to go, also known as the landing page. So for me, I'm going to open up a website right here. And I'm going to take you to a listing. I'm going to show you up top here where the URL is for this particular property as the example. Doesn't matter what your product or service is. I want you to click in the URL and you'll notice it turns a blue. From here you want to copy it. I'm using a Mac, so it's Command C, copies that URL. Now I'm going to head over to Facebook where I'm going to create this particular post. So on your page where it says write a post, you could drop the URL right in here, and you will notice that Facebook will load that URL, and there's the example of how it does. Now you could go ahead and add more photos by clicking on the plus sign, or you could create this ad in another way. And I'm actually going to show you a different way for creating this particular ad. Okay, so once again, I'm going to click on Photo Video, and I get a drop-down menu. You'll notice right here it says Create the Photo Carousel. This is the link that I'm going to drop in where it says enter a URL. Command V on my Mac will drop that URL into where Facebook has asked you to put it. Then you will notice there's a little arrow right here. If you go ahead and click the arrow, then Facebook does exactly what dropping the URL, which we showed you earlier, does right here. Now you'll want to know what you're going to say about this particular product or service. So if just for example, I'm just going to copy all of this information and I'm going to take it back and I'm going to drop it in where it says write something, right? And now the other thing is you don't have to use a URL or a bit.ly in this case that we usually use, because what happens is if the consumer clicks on this photo, it automatically is going to take them directly over here to where the URL destination was. So in that case, we do not need to add the URL, okay? But you might want to have a call to action, right? Please call for an appointment, or talk about whatever it is that you want the consumer to do. It's called your call to action. And you'll notice this little green thing right here, that's called Grammarly. I use Grammarly to point out mistakes that perhaps Facebook misses on my behalf, and so my grammar is coming out. I like to use emojis, and that is Control, Command, Shift. I have my favorite ones already out here, and then this is where you would add your phone number, of course, which is another call to action. So not only are they going to go to my website because of the URL that I used in here, but I'm also giving them an opportunity to telephone me as well. Okay? And then last but not least, I could go ahead and click these three little dots and I could choose a check-in or a location It doesn't matter where you are in the world, just put your location in there. And I also like to write my posts in multiple languages, and this is where I would click the plus sign right here where it says write post in another language. I would select the language that I would like to write the post in. In this case, it's going to be French, and you see that Facebook automatically loads it for you. I don't know how perfect it is, but it's a really nice little feature that I've enjoyed using. Now down here where it says share now, I could share it now, or I could use the drop down arrow and I could schedule this post to go out on the particular day and time when I think it would be the most appropriate when my audience is online. And then once I've scheduled it, I once again have to click schedule post. So that is one way to create a carousel. Now the other way that I want to show you is where you can add multiple pictures. So it's basically exactly the same thing that we just did. The only difference is I'm going to add multiple photos. So let's do that again. Let's choose. Scroll down the page. And let's create our post. There we go. Add photo video. Go ahead and create the carousel. Go to your page, select the URL, go back to your page. Let's just click out of here. Go back to your page, drop your URL where it says enter URL, and click the little arrow. Now what you want to do is you want to add your photos by using the plus sign. Now sometimes you can choose more than one photo at a time, but sometimes when I've used this option, Facebook will tell me only 5 photos. So in this case, I only picked 4 photos. I've waited until they've loaded. And you will see that Facebook is fetching the preview for you to view to make sure you're happy with the photos that you've chosen, as well as you can rearrange each one of these photos. And how you do that is down here, you put your cursor on the photo and you drag it. And you drag it into whichever, I'm going to click on this one. And we're going to look at them. Now let's say you didn't care for a particular photo. You put your cursor on the photo and you notice the X up here. Just go ahead and click it and it will make that photo disappear. And then you add more photos by clicking on the plus sign. And we've got that one. I might add these 2 photos as well. There's 3 there. Click on open. And once again, it will load them. Now here's a little bit more of a ninja trick that I will show you that you can do on each one of the photos. First I'm going to drag the photo across so it fits a little more in the storyline. There's the inside of the house, the outside, there's the kitchen, the living room, a bathroom shot, and the outside. And I really like this baby room shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it right across the screen like that. There we go. Now here's your little ninja trick. You can also put your cursor in the box here, and if you click on it, it gives you an opportunity where you can customize what it is you want to say. So I might take a couple of things from that particular listing and copy it, Command C, go back to where I was editing it, put my cursor in there, and then I can just drop it in like that. And you'll notice that it changed the text that was written. And you can do that for every single photo just by putting your cursor inside, just like that. And I believe that's about all we need to learn about using a carousel right in another language. I've showed you. Make sure that in your description you have another call to action, so you're always asking the consumer to do something with the information. And then you can, of course, schedule your posts by using the little drop-down arrow. So I hope this helps you with yet another way for you to create content on your Facebook business page. This is a really good way to drive traffic directly to your website, especially if you turn this into an ad, or it's also known as a traffic ad. And you will learn about that in the advertising component of this course. We'll see you in the next video.